I'm assuming that you all know how to use a Linux OS. If you don't, it's gonna take much longer than expected.
In terms of the videos we put out, Mike, the playlist, maybe as a point of reference for people, like if what we're going to be doing today, you know, if people want to go back to the playlist and watch, you know,
Sure.
yeah, it's good to reference back to that because it's a great resource, you know. Those videos are just waiting for people to watch them.
You know what's actually frustrating? Well, I shouldn't say frustrating. My daughter, my oldest daughter, she started a YouTube channel yesterday, and her videos have more view than mine. She's got like 2,000-3,000 views in like less than a day, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? She's just showing little drawings, and I'm like, okay, that's messed up.
It's not a competition, Mike.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it
Of
is.
course
Compete
it
with your
is.
daughter. Just copy her content. Just do her show, but you do it.
Okay.
Or have her do your content.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to share the playlist on this channel. So here it is. So we're pretty much going to do the exact same thing we did for the installation of 8.4.0, except the revision number is going to be obviously different. So I'm going to share this.
Yeah, so videos 1 and 2 are more or less just building the node from scratch. Well, not from scratch, using the directions, but and then after part 2, we start to really get into the more Sancho focused stuff. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen those videos and you want to set up a Sancho node, I think we timed it. I mean, you could do it in under 2 hours for sure. That's if you really take your time and really, um, examine every line, which you should. But yeah, it's really not a huge. I mean, it's challenging. But then if you guys watch that, and if there's any questions, you know, obviously the Discord. But
All right.
yeah, today we gotta update it. Things are moving fast on SanchoNet.
Okay. So technically everything's erased. All right. Oh, well, almost everything. No, I'll erase everything. Do you guys need to, do you want me to go through the GHC installation and Cabal file and everything? Oh, they all
What do you guys
muted.
think?
This video is for you guys. So,
I'm going to say yes, but
yes?
not if I'm the only one.
No,
I agree with you,
even,
Miser.
no, I disagree. If someone, I'm sorry for everyone that expects more. If someone is falling back, we'll go back to catch them. And, you know,
But let me preface it with this: if it's Linux related, then skip it because I'm not
no,
running Linux.
this is made for everyone. And I'm going to put an emphasis on that. These learning sessions are made for everyone. So if there's something you don't understand, go ahead, ask questions. There's no stupid questions. There is stupid answers though.
This video would be called updating our Sancho node to 8.6.0, right? If we could
Sure.
categorize this content.
Well, updating would imply that I only deleted the node itself, which I haven't done. Obviously, I've just deleted everything. All right. So who do we have? We have Alan, we have Quasar, we have Nudes, and the Hardford Cafe. Hi. So the way we did it in the videos was mainly for D-reps, but the way I'm going to do it this time would be for if you want to be a stake pool as well. So the only difference between the two is that when it's time to run the script to make the executables global, I'm going to put those executables in user local bin instead of dot local bin of your home directory. So by doing that, you kind of allow any users from your Linux server to run those commands instead of just your personal user. So it's going to make it easier for you to run a stateful. So let's go through the Cardano.org website. And the reason why I'm using this website is because in those tutorials, I wanted to make it in a way that you can use as many commands that you can also use on mainnet. And we will only switch to Conway era commands when we have kind of no choice, because those commands won't or are not actually usable on mainnet, pretty much. Hey, Mr. Willy Boy.
Willy boy. Welcome,
Willy
man.
Boy.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Glad you made it. Just talking all things Sancho.
So let's go into the developer portal. If you want to add anything along the way, Van, go ahead. Just
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow along, I know it's up on the screen right now, but if you want to just open it up on your window, it's developers.cardano.org, getting started. And then we go to Cardano components and we're installing, you can see it on the screen now.
Yep. So we're going to use a Linux. So first, we're going to apt update and apt upgrade our server and install all the prerequisite.
So you're showing us how to do it from ground level now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically a fresh start. Okay.
There's many ways to install a node, and the way we're using right now is the Cabal way to install it. So we're installing it from source. Each steps that normally you have to, or you can skip through using the guild operators script, we're going to do them one by one, as it is right now. So prerequisites are installed. Now we will install the GHC and the Cabal to compile our node. So do I have to explain here? It's pretty much just a curl command, and we're going to get the script and run the script to install GHCUP and Cabal. I'm pressing enter because that's the default, but you can actually select if you want, you know, if you wanted to prepend or append the path to the GHC. If you guys are used to that. If not, just press enter. It's going to do the default. I don't want to install stack as well, so enter, enter, enter. Enter again. It's actually pretty easy, right? Copy paste.
I mean, there's a good amount of
Enter
copy
again.
paste, right? It's
Well,
if there's just a few steps where we can't just follow exactly because we're doing it Sancho style.
But if you
Gotta
want
get
to,
a little weird with Sancho.
well, no, it's not. Well, yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's just you can't copy and paste completely, but
No,
there's a lot of copy pasting because Cardano documentation is pretty good.
the documentation that I'm following right now on developer tab is only pretty much for mainnet. But since it's Sancho, there's a couple of other prerequisites we need to install. So I'm gonna go through other tutorials, and we'll of course put the links under the video so you guys are, you know, you won't get lost. And if you wonder why this server is pretty damn slow, is because that's as much allocation I could give to it. right? Because yeah,
Mike is he can't afford a better server, you know. He's just barely scraping by with his 21 million ADA in delegation.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
kidding. I'm being a jerk.
that delegation is going straight to the delegator's pocket. I'm just grabbing 170 from that. I'm not even grabbing it actually. It goes straight to the pool project. I don't even get my own reward from my pledge. It's going there as well.
But you get to hang out with us, Mike. Come on, that's a reward.
Yeah, that's my. That's right. That's my reward. You know, it's funny. My operators get more money than I do. I send them 10 ADAs per epoch for the electricity of their server. So technically they get paid. I don't. This is sad. Which is why I can't afford to go to Dubai. And all I see is those pictures of people having fun there. Oh my god. Makes me want to cry.
Yeah, we'll go next year, Mike. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I need to buy an NFT and then sell it like you did for Vegas.
Yeah, man. It was actually Wyoming, but yeah, a Clay Nation at its peak paid for the whole trip to Wyoming. It's beautiful. Airfare, hotel, everything. Fucking good times, man. Sorry, Mike. I was gonna say for everybody watching this video or the people in the space right now too, if you were starting right now and you wanted to get on SanchoNet and you wanted to get involved, but let's say you have a Windows PC, how would you recommend, if you don't mind, you know, like people, you know, setting up a Linux instance in a server, or you know, like how would you, what makes the most sense to you as like a get started quickly and inexpensively?
Okay, I would say that the minimum requirement for testnet, they're pretty low. I think 8 gigs of RAM you have enough, and up to 2 gigahertz of processor is enough, and maybe 50-60 gigs of disk inventory space storage is enough as well for the testnet.
Yeah, so there you got it. There you have it, guys. It's like if you have an old computer sitting around with pretty much like the bare minimum, you know, bare minimum hardware. I mean, most laptops, most PCs would have what you would need for testnet. Then you can set up a Linux instance.
You could
You know,
also,
then you have
it depends on what you want to do. If you want to run a stake pool, that's what I would do. But if you do only want to test and play as a DREP, you can also get an Oracle. You start a Linux server on it, or a laptop. You compile your node, you run it, you build your chain, and you play with those features. Because it's a testnet, right? I wouldn't do that on mainnet though, because it would be unsafer than unsafe. I can say it like that.
not safe.
Yeah. It's already unsafe to keep your keys on a you know, on a hot instance, but having your keys on a hot instance that is virtualized from Windows, that would be that would be terrible. But
But
you know,
nobody's gonna steal your SanchoNet keys.
nobody cares about your SanchoNet keys. Yeah,
Yeah, so Mike is just a security freak, so
I
that's a
well,
good quality to have, though.
you know, good practices. I think we talked about it already in the videos. We also shared some really useful links to build your cold instances in the same videos that I showed you earlier. The link is on the SanchoNet info channel of your Discord. So if you guys want to check it out later, it's up to you. Oh, hey, it's already finished. Okay, so now if I check the, oh, I have to restart my shell after the GHC installation. So as it is right now, if I do GHCUP -- version, have the version 1.19.4, and no, actually that's the one I want. The GHC version though is the 9.4.7, but to compile the node we need to have the version 8.10.7. Some people can compile the node with 9.4, and you know, but the one that has been the, should I say, heavily tested by OG is the 8.10.7. So if you want to make sure you have no trouble, I'll go with this one. Hey, you guys are pretty silent.
They're just overwhelmed by all the knowledge.
Oh, really?
I need one of them translator books. It's like listening to something in Spanish right now.
Oh, that's my accent. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
That,
it's just I'm a meathead and I have no fucking idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
he's not talking about.
No, I could, yeah. What? I'm scared to ask a question. What part are you not understanding? It could be the old part. It's okay.
Yeah, it's the whole part.
All right.
I just need to sit and look stupid for a little bit. Go ahead.
No, well, okay. So this, what you
Well,
see right now, okay, it's a Linux operating system, okay? What I did, I opened up just a terminal from it, just like a Windows terminal, and I installed the prerequisite to compile the node with, how would I say that in English? With Haskell, pretty much, which is a functional programming language that you need to compile. It's like, in a way, you would say you're building the game you're going to play with. You have to compile it to make it kind of executable, and when it's done, you can play the game.
Okay, I get it. Makes sense.
Okay, that's the
yeah, and real quick, just like Linux, when I think of it compared to Windows, is like the Linux command line is like everything we see on our screen, Willie, when we drag and drop a file, when we click on an icon on our desktop, you can imagine that as like, instead of drag, you select a file and go, I want to move it into this folder on my computer, which is how we all kind of think of it. I mean, it's normal. On the instance that he has open on the right here, it's essentially like using way less resources to do the same thing in a way. It's just, it seems more complicated, but and it is in a way. It's less like accessible, but it's all the same things that we would do essentially on a a Windows computer that we're used to. But instead of clicking on a file, dragging it to a folder, you would type mv, then the name of the file, then the place where you want to move it to. But at the end of the day, the idea is we're trying to run the node as efficiently as possible. And for that, you can basically set up a little Linux instance like what Mike has open here, which can have less memory on it than a smartphone would have. I mean, it's very, very stripped down, very basic. And that's part of the beauty of Cardano, is that really you don't need a ton of resources to run what we're doing here.
no.
It's kind of like a little overwhelming, but yeah, just hang in there because there's some good stuff in here.
Everything,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it a lot better now. Thank you.
Yeah.
everything. We're not at this part right now, but everything you do with your normal wallet that you use every day, let's say Yorwa, Eternal, whatever, everything that happens in the background, we're gonna do it right here from the terminal, and you will understand what happens with your actual wallet if you haven't already. So, things like stacking, you have to register your stake address on chain before doing that, but it's all things that's being done in the background that you don't see from your wallet provider, if I can call them like that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do from the terminal directly. later. Probably not today, actually, which is sad. Maybe. Who knows? All right. So now we have the GHC version. Whoop.
Yeah, real quick too, Willie. So just for like, and I'm kind of just conceptualizing this too. Right now, essentially, his Linux instance on the right hand side is like a fucking little baby computer. I mean, there's just like nothing on this little, this little computer has nothing on it, and we literally have to add the things, the tools that we need to actually build the Cardano node, right? The computer just has nothing, and we're giving it, we're installing GHC and Cabal, which are basically just two tools that we're going to use to build our node, right, Mike?
In a way, these are the tools that's going to make your server understand how to compile the game you're going to play with. That's the
And
best way I
then
can explain it.
this Linux instance has like nothing else on it though. So imagine a computer
else.
that exists solely to serve as a Cardano node, and there's no other bullshit that's going to get in the way or interfere. No wires are going to get crossed because you literally created a fresh little computer that exists for this purpose,
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's going to be
Yeah.
your bridge to the blockchain. So everything you do, everything you want to transact with, every people you want to send money to or receive money from are going to be done and are going to be submitted to this particular node. So this will be your bridge to the rest of the blockchain.
Gotcha.
Which is essentially what a wallet is, right? When we set up a wallet on our, we download the Chrome extension, or a wallet provider, these same mechanisms, right, Mike, are happening under the hood. They're just
they are interacting with their node on their end.
Yeah, the wallet has a node,
which
it's
is
obviously a lot more complicated than the one we're building, but it's doing essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah, but the closest would be if you have a Daedalus wallet, because when you own the Daedalus wallet, you have the node yourself, which is why it takes so much time, because you
That's
have
why
to
it's such a
synchronize.
pain in the ass.
It's got to load all the fucking
Yes.
shit yeah.
But you own the node. It's
Right.
exactly like Charles Kinson said. He said everyone wants to have a wallet, but nobody wants to manage a server. Nobody wants it.
So Eternal is like they're giving you a taste of their node, and they take on all the responsibility of that. And
you control the key, you use their node, right? Your keys, their node.
That's why it's up to date when you log in, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Daedalus, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
So now we have the version 8.10.7. We're going to install and set the Cabal to, and on this tutorial it's made for mainnet, right? But for Sancho, I would like to use the version 3.8.1.0. So I'll just switch those with the right Cabal version for Sancho, which is this. And it's going to be pretty fast. There it is. So if I check Cabal -- version, I have the right one right there. All right. So next, got the right version.
How did you know that's the right version for Sancho? Just for example, Mike.
We're gonna get there. There's, that's one of the things that I shouldn't say dislike, but that I don't like too much is that there's so many resources to build your node, interact with the blockchain, smart contracts, NFTs, and I'm pretty sure Nudes. He left. He's not there anymore. Okay. I would say Nudes would agree with me on that. Or maybe Quasar. The resources they're all spread out everywhere on on the ecosystem. So if you want information about NFT, you gotta go on this website and then match it with the other website and check those forums, and they're not all aggregated at the same place, which is sad. So this information, I got it from the Cardano wiki, or actually a pull request from it. When they were starting to build the guides for Sancho. So, oh, we got someone. Mr. Hardforge.
No, it's just me.
All right. We don't see you though. So where was I? Oh yeah, version 3.8.1. I got it from the from a pull request that has been made to the Cardano wiki, which is another tutorial to install a node. Could have used this one, but again, I just want to make sure that we're as close as possible to the mainnet. If the people eventually wants to switch from testnet to mainnet, they won't get lost in a tutorial that's made only for Sancho. So that's why I'm partially using this one, and then we'll switch to we'll go switch to the Cardano wiki as well and get, you know, the prerequisite that we're missing. Yeah, that's it. So now we're going to build our Sancho source file. I'm going to call it Sancho.source, like that. And we're going to get in it. Make it easy to see. So now we're...
So right there, he just, Willie, he just created a new file, or sorry, folder, essentially, right? Like he just created a new
Yeah.
folder on this little fucking annoying computer. And that folder is called Sancho source.
Right.
And that's going to be where we're building out the rest of this Sancho node here.
I'm sorry, I didn't explain. I use the command make directory. That's a command,
Right.
and everything you write after that, it just creates your, you know.
It's just interesting because a lot of this stuff can seem a little intimidating, but then you think of it as like, okay, I just created a new folder on my desktop. You know what I mean? Like if you think of it that way, it's very simple. It's like, yeah, we just created a new folder. This is going to be our Sancho folder, and you know, and now we're going into that folder to build our node.
Yes, those are Linux commands. I'll try to explain them as I, because sometimes I'm just going like, all right. So yeah, we made a directory. We called it Sancho source, and then from that point, I used cd, which is a command to go into a directory or to leave a directory, depending on what you write. And I want to go into Sancho source directory that I just created. I press enter, I'm in it. There you go. So now we need to install the Lipsodium from the input-output HK repository. So I'll just clone the old repository and install it using those commands. So it clones the repository, it gets into the repository or the directory that it creates on your instance. Then you git check out the right revision for your installation. You run the script autogen, you configure it, and you make the Lipsodium on your server. So I'll just copy it and paste it and let the magic work.
And you know, so that's pretty similar to just quote unquote download and install, right? If we went to a, you know, a website, there's a button, click, you know, download and install. It's essentially what this command that Mike just pasted in there is doing. It's just kind of under the hood.
Yeah, normally you don't technically see under the hood, but using a terminal like we do, all the outputs from the commands that we used are showing on our screens. This might look intimidating, but it's not, you know, you just let it go.
Well,
Okay.
and the purpose of that is essentially, right, Mike? Like it's to generate a graphical interface, like when we're clicking and dragging and dropping and all these things that make it more approachable. It uses resources from the computer.
Yeah.
And when we're doing it like this, where it all just looks like we're in the Matrix and we're just like, what the hell is this? This is essentially like it's a peek under the hood, but it's also just a way of doing this. Again, the whole point is to do it with the least amount of resources being used as possible.
You know, a program
And
is
yeah,
a program is in a way nothing else than you know, a program running other programs that run other programs, you know, like a function of a function of a function, like 1 + 1 = 2. Then you take that answer and you put it as a variable for another function that's bigger, and the result from that, or the calculation from that, you know, you stick it into another big block of functions, and eventually it transforms into a nice GUI, a graphical user interface that you have and you use. In a way.
that's like what Bill Gates did. That's why he became so rich. He was like, okay, all these other nerds invented all this amazing shit. Now, what if I put a nice gloss of paint over the top that makes it easier to use for normal people? And then that's how we got to where we are.
Yep. So next step, I'm going to travel back into my home directory. That's the little wave. There you go. And I will open using text editor. I like Vim, but you guys could be use of Nano. And we will go into our .bashrc file. We'll get at the end of it. And mine's probably already there, so I'm not gonna copy paste it again. We will copy paste those lines which export the path to the library and to the pkg config that our node that our compiler are going to use to compile the node. So in compiler, in a way, you have to tell them where on your server to get the information that it needs to compile your node, and it needs the config path, the pkg config path, and the library path. So you just copy it and paste it there. Mine's already there, so I don't have to redo it. And you save it. That's it. When it's done, you type down source.bashrc to make your shell reconsider it. That's it. So now we have to get back into our central source file, and we will clone the libsec repository, which is the Bitcoin core. So let's do that. I'll just grab this because I'm not using the Cardano-source file name.
We're in Sancho source.
Yes. I hope you guys don't find this too boring. You're pretty quiet. That's actually intimidating for me. I hope that's okay so far, right? Right?
You're doing great, Mike. Thank you.
Okay. You
They're
sure you
all
guys
just
don't have any
phones,
questions?
Mike.
You can go ahead and talk. Yeah, we're just six of us. There's no, we're not 25. You just go ahead.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's also oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
I just wanted to say, yeah, if I mean it's fun to talk about it from the perspective of expert all the way to beginner. You know, there's something for all of us to learn. So yeah, I was just gonna say what Mike said. If you guys have any questions.
That's done. So let's get back. We get back to central
And in the
source.
future too, we'll do one of these where we're just for people who are just curious to see us playing around with the node as a drep. You know, once it's like maybe some people are like, oh, you know, I'm not necessarily ready to do it myself, but I am curious to see just what it's like once it's, you know, once you have your keys and all that and the drep ID.
I think that's going to be the best part, or probably the part where we'll get the most questions, because I'm pretty sure like probably like half or 90% of the people here already knows how to install a node. But you know, I'm just doing it because I haven't done it, obviously, for 8.6.0. So next step, from our central source, we will install we will clone the Cardano-node repository from IOHkey. And this will include the Cardano CLI as well. So now this is done, that's the tricky part. The git checkout. We're going to use, oh yeah, sorry. We will do a git checkout, but we're going to use the last version of the node. And to do so,
And this is like if somebody's updating their node, they're already on SanchoNet. This is essentially where they would be picking up, right? To just get up to date. Because they would already have the dependencies.
what's that? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, like, if you already had your node set up for SanchoNet previously, and you just wanted to update, this is essentially where you'd be picking up, right? Because you wouldn't have
Yes.
to install the dependencies again. This is all the stuff we just did up to this point is like not a
You keep it.
one-time. I mean, it's yeah. Once you have those, it's just you're just getting the most recent version of the node from IOHK,
Right.
and
You
replacing the older version.
Yeah. From the mainnet, you can keep the same database because it doesn't change. And you could just wipe out your Cardano node and recompile it and use it with the same database. So you don't have to, recompile your node in 2.5 days, or maybe, in a smaller amount of time if you're using a Metro signer. That I would be anxious to do a video about that. That would be really, really informative, I'm sure. But anyway, let's get back to the node. So into the github.com input output HK repository, we'll go into Cardano node and we will look for the last version of it. Here you see that's the mainnet version 8.1.2. That's not the one we want, so we're going to release right under it.
We're living in the future.
Yes. And that's the one we're looking for, 8.6.0, which was released yesterday, 2 days ago. Sorry. So we'll click here on the revision number. And we could use this one here or the one on top there. This one. That's the revision number that I want. So I'll copy it. And I will paste it here. Git checkout. So as you can see, we have version 8.6. So this is the one we're going to compile. So getting back to our tutorial here. The next step would be to cabal configure, but before that, since it's not the mainnet, there's one more thing we need to get from the input output HK repository. So we'll get down here and we'll find the Cardano CLI wiki repository, which is nowhere because it's not Cardano CLI, it's Cardano-node wiki.
Node, yeah.
So there it is. From that repository, you'll go into docs. Yeah, this instance is slow. Okay. Getting started. Then install. And from there, you see the requirements. Also very informative if you're looking for an instance. 20 gigs, that's not enough. I don't know why they put 20 gigs.
That's
Yeah.
bare bones. That's what I ran into that problem before. So
Yeah.
I was following that too closely, but I think that's like the absolute bare minimum. I mean, you gotta be very, very efficient.
That's what I would use if my node is compiled somewhere else and I just grab the binaries and stick it into that server. That would be fine. But anyway, I'll use 8 gigs minimum and probably around 60, 80 gigs of storage. That's not too much asking. Anyway, So you get down to BLST. There it is. Again, I'll share the link and it's going to lead you directly to it. Okay. So here what we'll do, we'll again clone the repository of the BLST, right? And we will git check out the right version. We will use the build script, and we will also create a file that's called libblst.pc that we will put into the pkg config from lib local user. And that command is going to do it for you, pretty much. So you're creating the file, you're adding those prefix and variables, and that's what it'll do, pretty much. And of course, those commands are to change or to copy it from where you installed it or where you created it to the pkg config repository. No, directory, sorry, directory. So, if you didn't understand anything I said, which could be normal, you just copy and paste.
AKA
Oh,
copy.
actually, that's a bad idea. Don't do that in the Cardano-node. We get back into Cardano source first, and you paste it there. I must be super boring. There's only 2% left in the chat. Oh man! Oh man!
Guys,
That guy! Oh my god! He must be boring. Oh my! Oh, that's what the fuck! I don't understand shit of what he says. I'm getting out.
No, it's just things that are simple to you, Mike, are very to us
Is
us
it
mortals. It's I mean, it's just
complicated?
a lot of people aren't familiar with Linux. A lot of people aren't familiar with command line interface. So there's just lots of foundational information. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Quasar. I just think it's
I just mainly did copy paste so far. That's all I did. Copy paste this, copy paste that. And I tried to explain it. Maybe that's what scared people. I
I
don't know.
was told to never copy and paste anything. Like that's rule one. Don't do that.
well, don't paste it in the wrong place. That could get awkward.
Okay, so that's done, right? Let's get back. I'm glad. I'm pretty glad you guys stayed. That'll cheer me up. So that's all we needed. So let's get back.
You know I'm Quasar in the hard fork, right? It's just me.
Yeah. I see Quasar and Artful Cafe.
Yeah, they're the same person.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's because everyone's at Dubai.
This is 2FA. Two faces, one account.
What?
Two-factor
So
authentication.
yeah. So Dan, what you said was absolutely right. Linux, yeah, just generally intimidating. Command line also, and I should have had my environment set up properly to begin with because I've got WSL2, I think, and getting Haskell or getting the node and CLI with Windows and PowerShell. I think a separate session on just getting the environment set up for people would be awesome.
And that's okay with PowerShell as well. You could, it still works pretty fine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'll have to update it.
another thing too is it's I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there's a textbook online. It's a free PDF. It's like 4,000 pages, but it's just called the Linux command line, and it's available for free. And it gets updated like once a year or whatever with the best information. But I would highly recommend it totally that if you just kind of go chapter by chapter, that book just totally demystifies the command line for whether you're an expert or a beginner.
I do have a book for you that you would like. It's called the Ubuntu Bible. It's
Never heard of that. Sounds
1,100
cool.
something. It tells you everything from desktop to server to maintenance to networking, everything. Good
Ubuntu
practices.
Bible.
Ubuntu by no, you don't have to know that. I'll send it to you. I have the PDF. I have the old book in PDF. I can just throw it at you with my Nitro account.
Yeah, that's, I mean, to me, that's the main hurdle is like, as someone who got interested in this stuff purely just because of Cardano, you know, I think, I mean, I was always interested in computers and things like that, but, you know, really wanting to dig into it, to me, that's the biggest kind of mental leap is just really knowing how to speak to the Linux through the command line is really powerful, and it's something that people like Mike, who is a Cardano Summit Award nominee, it's almost like riding a bike, you know. It's like once you figure out how to you know, push the pedals and steer it, it seems very second nature, but it is kind of a big hurdle, I think, for a lot of people, including myself. And yeah, that Linux command line book and apparently Ubuntu Bible, you know, I think that'll demystify a lot of this stuff, and then things start to fall into place a lot better.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the more you learn, the less you see it as intimidating, and sometimes you get so used to it that you know, you just write down your commands without thinking, is the other person understood what you did? And I believe that's
But yeah,
important to explain everything, because I would have
well, but
liked,
that's yeah. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
you go, that was it.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the command line, from what I understand, is it's all about, it gives you more power, but it also gives you more flexibility, right? Like
Yeah.
when we're using, it's almost like you have to, for me personally, it's like I've had to break free from the way I communicate with the computer, because it's built to, it's like riding a bike with training wheels versus riding a fucking Japanese pocket rocket motorcycle. I mean, it's like, with great power comes great responsibility, because you know, you put something on the command line, and you know, a little dash and a wrong letter could have some serious consequences,
Yeah.
which obviously if you're dragging and dropping files isn't going to happen, but in exchange for that risk you get so much power and flexibility to do stuff on the command line. So it takes a little brain, kind of got to remold your brain, but all of a sudden all this Cardano stuff starts to make a lot more sense once you're thinking of it in terms of you know, the Linux command line, rather than that was kind of my biggest hurdle maybe a year or two ago, was to just really like get out of that mind space. But that book really helped me a lot, the Linux command line, and the price is right too, it's free.
If you guys wanna see it, I'll send it to you in a direct message if you wanna have it, you know, have a look at it, or not. It's up to you. But you know,
No, send it over for sure.
uh, just in the meantime, I'll say that from the Cardano-node, you know, I'll just do a Cabal update just like that while we talk, and let it do its thing. Because we're almost there, actually. If you guys want to talk about, you know, anything, we're gonna have a good maybe 30 minutes to do so when it starts compiling. Because I'm like at probably 2 commands away from the compiling itself. So the only thing we have left to do right now is the Cabal update, which is done, obviously, right now. The next thing would be to Cabal configure using the GHC version that we've set. That's already done. And now, on the tutorial, it says Cabal build all. Even on the Discord channel, I saw people using Cabal build all. They only build the node, and then when it's done, they install the CLI by itself afterwards. I like to do them at the same time, so I use the Cabal build, and I'll just type down Cardano-node and Cardano-CLI. That's it. So this is all you need to do to have yourself a node.
I see
And-
we got Puppy in the house. What's up, Puppy? How you doing, man?
Hey,
Glad you made it. I don't know if you can speak right now. If you can't, no worries. But thanks for popping in.
Oh, I still on mute.
I know, I hear you.
Puppy, are you familiar with the Linux command line, my friend? I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I used every day of my job.
Yeah. We're just talking about SanchoNet building a node for Cardano's testnet that is exploring governance tools that are being tested right now on Cardano. I don't know if that's something that interests you.
We're installing the last version of the node, which was released 2 days ago. And they respawned the chain, I think yesterday or today. Anyway, it's pretty new. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Everything you couldn't see if you got here, after, or if you want to know about it, I'll just put it in the YouTube video as well. So you can catch up if you feel like you missed anything. And if you have questions, go ahead and ask, like some people did.
Puppy, sorry, Mike, Puppy is the one who built our awesome poker bot for the Cardano Discord. Yeah,
Nice.
Puppy did that pro bono, just out of the kindness of his heart. So yeah, shout out to Puppy, and he's
Awesome.
he's no slouch. He's
Cool.
he knows what's going on.
Nice. So he already knows everything about the node pretty much. How do you build yours? How do you use Nix, Cabal, or you use Dockers?
So most of the infrastructure I brought up for that, yeah, it's heavily Dockerized. So that's how it's managed. And I have, a couple different backends with it. Obviously one hosts the bot and another one hosts a service that's actually talking to is interacting with the Cardano node.
Okay.
But and then there's a Cardano node, obviously. Yeah.
So if you didn't know today, like Van said, we're building a node from ground up. So we showed in the beginning, we showed everyone how to install the GHC compiler, the prerequisite, the libsodium, libsec, BLST, and now we're at the compilation part. So what you see right now is the node itself being compiled from Cabal. Yeah, so that's where we're at. And we're talking about anything right now because it's gonna take its its load of time.
Yeah, it takes a little while.
Yeah, it's about, let's say, wow, depends on your resources. It's usually between 20 minutes and 45 minutes. I'm hoping for 30. That'd be nice.
So Mike,
It's mostly
My-
dependencies that you're doing.
I was just gonna ask you, Mike, how did I end up? I got rid of my previous node. I cloned I set the git checkout to the newest tag for the updated 8.6.0, and I rebuilt it, and yet when I I ended up with the previous node version at the end of it all. And I'm just curious how I managed to be such an asshole. If you had to guess.
Is it Big Joe? Is that Big Joe? Oh, that's Big Joe, man. Hey,
What's up, fuckers?
hey.
I just got home.
I've never seen
Dude.
Mike so excited.
No, I love Big Joe, man. It's just you know, we have our thing on Twitter Space, but I love this guy. He's just so funny, man. You know, half of the time you don't hear me because I don't, you know, but I'm laughing so hard, man. You know, every time you know, he's sticking his little comments in the conversation that makes everyone uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm laughing so hard. How's it going, man?
What's going on? I'm good. I'm trying to learn about this SanchoNet. I see a bunch of coding going on. What the fuck is all those numbers and letters and shit?
Okay. Right now we are compiling the node and the CLI, so it's doing its thing by itself. What we did so far, it's mainly copy pasting commands. I explain them and I scare people by explaining them. So if you don't, well, I shouldn't say that because it's nice to understand things, but if you don't feel like trying to understand those things, you can just copy paste them and use the CLI afterwards, because the CLI would be important to understand if you want to, well, if you want to be a CLI without using a wallet provider. But you know, I talked to Van about it. We really want to get you into SanchoNet as well. If you have a, you know, anything, computer, Windows, anything, we could just, you know, set up an Oracle virtual machine, or, you know, try to get you in. Pretty sure
For
you
sure.
can. Pretty sure you can understand all that.
Did you
What are
guys
you doing,
record
Joe? You outside?
Yeah, I'm right here on my little balcony thing.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, fucking, Southern California weather. Just got off of traffic. Um, but did you guys record this session right here from the beginning or not?
Yes, but
Oh,
it's
awesome.
not live. It's not live, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, he'll edit it out.
You probably do it anyway.
You could take your shirt off, dude, if you want.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. That's weird.
the admin.
Do it, Big Joe. Do it.
Who else is in here? Where's the mother?
Quasar's
Oh,
here.
yeah.
There's
Quasar and Puppy.
yeah.
Fucking puppy. All the fucking hackers. Let me clean my fucking camera.
Puppy
There we
already
go.
knows all this shit.
Cool. I'll go back and look at it after. So you guys are just letting this thing do its thing on its own right now?
Yeah. It's compiling as we speak. It's going to take probably 30 minutes or maybe 20 more minutes. When it's done, the only thing we have to do is to make the executables global, which Van always forget to do, and
Fucking van.
that's what I was going to tell you here. You see the command right there? That's your problem every time. But
Yeah, I'm always fixing everything, doing all the fucking legwork, and Van's always fucking it up, dude. I gotta come. Fuck. Anyway, it's another story.
So wait, Mike, I gotta do that again, even though I'm just updating?
what step are you at right now? Are you compiling the node, or that's after? When
It's
you're
after you compile.
right,
Oh,
when your node is compiled, you have to run
okay.
the script to replace your former executables with the right ones.
Okay.
But just first make sure that you know where it is. Go check into your .local/bin directory to see if it's there, because it might be into the /user/local/bin as well, depending on on what we did.
You can use which.
Yeah, which Cardano-node is going to show you the path. Yeah, thank you. I just, you know, I'm breaking my head for nothing. Use which
Thank you.
and
Thank
type
you,
down
Puppy.
Cardano-node. It's going to show you where the path to your executable, or to the wrong one, if I should say, and you will know what to type down here. If it's home.local, if it's in .local bin,
Okay.
where do you see it? User local bin, or
Yeah, it's home user dot local bin.
Okay, so you could just copy paste this command you copy paste it into the Cardano-node directory that you made, and
Okay.
it's gonna fix your problem.
I just did it and it's saying error Cardano node not built.
You have to do it
Okay.
from your directory. Are you inside the Cardano-node directory?
Yeah, I am. That's why I'm.
And you've compiled it?
Yeah, and it's interesting when I do query tip. So the version is the previous version, and when I do query tip, I'm getting sync progress 99.52, and it's just frozen there, which is interesting. It's like
Wait. Okay. Have you deactivated first? Have you done sudo systemctl stop whatever you called it, SanchoNet service? Is your service running right now? Or is it trying to run? Because the way you did your service, it tries to restart as it fails every 15 seconds. I think we set it to. Make sure
yeah,
that's
I think it is running. Yeah.
so sudo systemctl stop SanchoNet.service. First of all, second, I would disable it, and we'll just re-enable it after. It's just so your server doesn't constantly try to restart your service for nothing. We'll start with that.
Okay.
What time is it?
Oh shit! I gotta go.
I gotta go too. It's gonna do
Damn.
the same thing. I'm gonna have to compile 2 videos, or just I'll do the rest myself. I think people are. I don't know. I think they're more interested into the CLI itself.
Yeah, I think people want to see it in action, and then they want to,
Mm.
that sparks the curiosity for the other steps. It's like, oh,
Yes.
I wanna do that, and then they can go back and
It's also very fun. You start your own kind of wallet from from the
right.
command line interface, and it's pretty fun. You build your own input, your own output. That's pretty. Even on mainnet, that's really fun. Oh well.
I appreciate you, Mike.
It's wait.
We'll do it again, and we'll like you said, we'll maybe just give people more of a deep dive into the Cardano CLI and how it looks on SanchoNet, and because people really want to see, it's like, okay, once on my DREP, what does that look like? What can I do? What can I see? So
And we could just focus our learning session about the CLI only. And in the meantime, I'll give you a hand with your node, so you could, you can recompile it. And I double checked for the stake pool part, and it's way easier than I expected if we follow the SanchoNet tutorial.
okay.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
what do I mean? Because the way I was thinking about doing it is the same way we do for mainnet, using build, the transaction build raw, and the good practices of using a cold instance and switching the transaction from the cold instance to submit it on chain. But if we do it in a very, very unsecure way and we keep all our cold keys and everything on our hot node, it's pretty fast and straightforward. Actually,
Okay.
I made it in like less than 20 minutes this morning, having all my keys on a totally unsecure instance. But still, it was quick, obviously.
Quick and dirty.
Quasar,
That's what we call
get
it.
your shit together, Quasar.
Man, hush, Big Joe. I didn't come here for you to put up with your shit.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm sorry they're leaving. that you showed up. You're like, oh, gotta go.
Yeah,
Look at
Joe's
the
here. I
time.
gotta go, guys. I apologize,
Look at
but
the
I did
time.
Fuckers.
commit to a 6:30 time.
But thanks a lot, guys, for attending. I mean, that's more. Actually, that's more
Well,
people than I expected.
when are we doing it next, Mike? Let's set
Yeah,
up
when's the
another
next
time if you don't
meeting?
mind.
We gotta
It
make a flyer. We
it
gotta
de
make a flyer for the next one.
depends on you, man. You just let me know your schedule, and I'll try to adapt.
In
Yeah,
30 minutes.
you already did
You're
actually.
not really free on the weekends too much, though, are you, Mike?
I know
Weekends are a little tight. Yeah.
it's
Okay. Yeah, I'll
mostly
let you know
about
my
yeah.
schedule once I. Yeah.
All right, maybe next week. Who knows?
We'll shoot for next week, guys. And Puppy, I hope you learned something today, buddy. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help you.
Oh, and here, if you haven't already, there's those nice videos right there. I shared the link to it on the SanchoNet info of your Discord, I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, SanchoNet info. We got the current playlist. So honestly, if you guys are interested, I think that's a great place to start is with the videos and just go through that. And once once it starts to get confusing, you know, write down a couple notes and ask Mike or myself. I'd be happy to answer if I know the answer, and if not, we'll get Mike in there to help out. But I mean, really, those videos, what that playlist has is building your Cardano node, and then getting it synced up with SanchoNet, setting yourself up as a DREP, and getting involved. You know, so it's Mike makes it seem easy, but if anybody has questions, you know, I'd love to get the SanchoNet info channel full of information about that. I mean, we got a Cardano Summit Award nominee. This guy's hanging out with us, showing us how to do this shit. Meanwhile,
I don't
you
even know what
know,
I don't even know what I'm doing there. To
I'm
be
gonna
all
honest,
the
fucking rap
other
I'm
about.
like,
I'm gonna rap
what?
about the summit. I'm gonna be like, he's in the weed stake pool, fucking Discord, going crazy. He does,
It's because we're
well, and
friends.
yeah, I don't want to make you nervous, Mike, but the last guy to get nominated, I'm sorry, the last guy to win the Cardano Summit Award for CIP was Alessandro Barry, who, from what I understand now, is like a freaking honorary member of IOG. So you guys might you guys might be looking at the next CEO or CTO or who knows.
But
he's
no,
gonna be
no, 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 no. Okay, first of
Mike
all,
Wallace.
I don't know what I'm doing there. I just did my thing. I did my translation. Adam Dean's gonna win, man. This guy's a fucking legend. I'm like seeing my name there. I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck? Huh? That's me? What the hell? That was my reaction. I was like, there's Andrew, there's Adam, there's what the hell I'm doing there?
Somebody's got a crush on you at IOG, man.
No, I think they just I'm the spot filler.
It's Uncle Charlie.
They just
Uncle
went like,
Uncle
well, we need
Charlie.
6 people. Who else? Who else? This guy. Who's he? Mike.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
let's stick this name on the list.
Hey, Mike, what version are you compiling there?
Oh, yes, that's the version 8.6.0. I'll show it to you.
Okay, I
Came
was
out
gonna say because
a day ago. Yeah.
I was wondering if you were compiling one or the one that was listed in Discord because I was wondering if you like downloaded the 8.5. I wondered.
Well, if you get the yes, or okay, I get it. If you get the 8.5, it's technically going to work, but there's many features from the
Well, I was just
CLI.
saying. No, I was just wondering because the last version I saw you guys talking about was 8.5.
Yes, it was the last version, like pretty recently.
Mhm. It's
And
like
I
But
2 or
that
3
was the
weeks.
one you guys were talking about in the Discord. That's what I was talking about.
yeah, as you can see, this version is available like 2 days ago, so it's super new.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the 8.6.0 we're doing right now. Here.
I gotta jump, guys. I'm
All right.
sorry, but I'll talk to you soon. And Mike, I'll keep you updated. We'll set another one of these up for next week, if
Cool.
possible.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks for doing this. I'll
Yeah,
chat with
thanks.
you later.
Thanks again,
I'll try to
Van.
be here.
Seriously, guys, if you can, I'm gonna ask you this, okay? Because most of the time people talk about it, they specify me all the time, but Van did this for me. He helped me building those videos. He didn't have to, and he never gets mentioned. So please, please,
Mike,
guys, if you want to share this
if you
video,
embarrass
just
me
share
like
this.
this again, Mike,
Well,
if
talk
you-
about Van, Big Joe.
Mike,
Come on.
if you do this again, I'm done with you. Okay, I'm serious.
Wait,
I'm tired of you trying to give me credit for all the fucking hard work you do.
No.
Van is the
We're a team,
Academy.
dude. We're a team. No
Donate
joke.
him
No
for
joke.
the
We're teams.
fucking
Please.
reward. I'm going
Well,
to
we'll do it again,
Dubai
guys.
right
Yes.
now. I'm going to
Give me
Dubai
the
and letting them
credit.
know.
Give me the fucking credit.
Big Joe did it.
Give Joe the credit. Gotta go, guys.
See you, dude.
All right. Ciao, guys.
See you, Mike.